Hey everybody, so in today's show we're going to be talking about how to create and customize PowerApps forms in SharePoint. They're easy, they look better, and I think they're just more fun. So let's get going. So we're going to start out, this is just a little list I made called Date Ideas. And if we want to look at the form I already made, this is just an example of a PowerApps form. We got our title, activity, food, or snacks, and our price. And so it's nothing fancy. It's got a little slider, which is normally not in the default SharePoint form, which is pretty cool. So if we want to edit it, I can edit the title, everything. If I want to change the price, I can change the price. If it goes over $50, it'll be a red frowny face. If it's under $50, it's green. And say rollerblading is $82. When you hit save, that'll save. And what I love it is it just automatically updates it right there for you. So there's that. It's pretty cool. We're going to show a little bit how to do that, maybe a little bit extra of what you can do. So let's go over here. So to make your form, when you make your PowerApps form, you can also delete it, choose another form, go back to the default form without deleting your PowerApps form. So if you go over to list settings, scroll down to form settings. Second. So here you can use info path. You can modify it right here and go update the PowerApps form, make it a little bit better. See different versions of it, or you can use the default SharePoint form. And when I click on here, I can delete my custom form. So I'll go ahead and delete it. There it goes. Give me a sec. And now, if I want, all I got to do is go up here, select PowerApps, and you can create an app. That's going to create an app that you can use on your phone. It's a little different. It gets the information from the list still, but it's not a form that's really gonna look like this and come up on the side when it comes up. Like when I click, it's not gonna really come up over here. So we want a form which is a little more simpler, sometimes a little more complicated than an app. And I'm just going to hit customize forms. Sometimes this can take a sec, so I'm going to go ahead and pause video. And we're back. It's been like 30 seconds, but here you have it. So this is basically the out-of-the-box PowerApps form that it'll build you, which is pretty cool that it can do that. Just going over the different things. When you create this, something you'll notice that's different when you create an app is it's going to have this SharePoint integration. And what you want to do is just leave this alone. In my opinion, never really want to change this or do anything with it. Also, with the forms, they're a little bit different when you save it. As you could see on my other form, when you hit save, it's not a button inside the form, it's kind of outside. So be aware that when you create forms, if you want them to click a button at the end to say submit, usually what I'll do is I'll just have them have the top button up there be saved, because if I want something to happen when they click a button, like they can always just hit the save button and it'll kind of throw things off a little bit, so just be aware of that. But anyways, let's get going. So here we can choose our fields. Go over to this right panel and we can move them around. Sometimes it's a little stubborn, but let's see, there we go. So I can move it around just a little bit. Say my title's down here now. Probably don't want that, but now you can also, this is really cool. So it's going to tell you some different information right here about our title field. And the required is yes. It's a string. That's its real name. I can also go over here, and right now the form is in edit mode. So that means you can change it. mess with it, but I can also do view phone, view email, loud values, edit rich text, view rich text. The form will automatically change to view or edit, but that's pretty cool. So if you do an email, it'll automatically do an email. I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure if you click the email, it'll take you to a screen where you can email the person. Or if you do view phone and you click it and you're on your phone, maybe it'll call the person, which is pretty awesome. So you can select different types of things. So if we go over to food and snack, it gives us the same option. So you can do this anywhere. And especially this one's a good one. So the rating, if I wanted, I can do view by percentage, do an edit slider, edit rating. So to put in a rating, so let's try to see what that looks like. So now it's edit rating. So the default looks like it's in the middle. It's just 3 stars. So now I can edit that a little bit if I want. Also the price, do the same thing. We'll do a slider on our price. So that's what I really love about PowerApps, is it really allows you to customize it. You can add in sliders, you can add in ratings, you can do an image. If you have maybe an address, there's a way to hook up to Bing Maps and you can view where the address is, or you can, if you've got a people picker, you can do an image and the person you select can show their image, and it's really customizable. It looks lots better, and as you can see, it's just a few clicks and all of a sudden the rating is now got stars. Also, if I want to, I can collapse all these if they're all open, or I can click over here, add a custom card. And for those of you that maybe like info path, or you just want to add in, a bar or a separator, you can also do this. So maybe I want the title to be kind of separated. Here's my little card. And if you haven't seen, or if you don't know too much about forms yet, you'll notice that over here we have our different data cards. And if I click on one, let's click on the title. So the title is going to be its own little data card. And if I want, I can move it around down over here. So now that thing's above there. If I click on the little card title, I can move it further down. I can also, what it also has in it is these little controls or these labels or whatever it is inside, and that pertains to that field. So if you want to ever change it or make it different, you can always go over here, click Advanced, unlock the properties. If you don't do that, you can't really mess with anything inside. It's kind of like a PowerApps is saying, hey, like, make sure you know what you're doing. If you unlock this, we're going to just guess that you know what you're doing. So it's up to you. But if you don't unlock it, it's pretty safe. You can just keep it simple if you want. Going back to this is our custom data card. You can't really make it send data back to anything, but maybe I just wanted, like a big space, or I wanted to just add something in here that's a little different from my form or something like that. And particularly if you want, you can insert a rectangle, just like a little bar. Let's get a little rectangle in there. So maybe I just want like a little separator. Just gonna go like that. And so that's kind of more of an info path feel, maybe. Doesn't look good. You guys can mess with that maybe a little bit more. So that just kind of adds in a little flair to it, maybe. Or if you want, you can always just add in a rectangle from a already built-in data card, but if you want, you can do it like that too. Also, with our price, I'll just kind of show you what I had done and how data cards work just a little bit more. So with this one, I'm going to go over to Advanced, unlock it real quick. So now I can add stuff into it. I can kind of manipulate it a little bit. And before I do that, I'm just going to show you. So this one is the price data card. and it's updating the price field. And if you want to know what value or what control it's looking at to update, because you can have, a few different controls in there, and it's going to update a certain one though. So if I click on the data card and I go over to its properties over here, I can go over to required, set it to true if I want, or I can go to update. And so right now it's updating data card value 8.value. So data card value 8.value, let's see what this is. What is this called? Data card value 8.value. So it's getting the value of this slider. So if I wanted to do something else, I could insert, a label and update label 1.text, and it's going to update that. Now you got to make sure if it's like an integer, if it's a text, you kind of got to get the right control for what you're wanting to update, but you can change what it's updating. So if you wanted to pick something else rather than what's already there, you can do that, which is kind of nice. Just to show you like maybe a little smiley face thing, I'll make this a little simpler. I'll just put in a little check mark here, and we'll say, I use green a lot. I don't know why. Green's just a happy color. So we're going to go over here, go to visible property. Now, our slider's name, what's our slider's name? Data card value 8. That's why you always want to redo these. And now it's gone. Let's see here. Go here. Price, data card value 8. There we go. And I'm back. So, an icon. There we go. All right. So here we are. So the visible property is going to be if data card value 8 dot value, so the number, what I've slid it across to be, if it is greater than 20, then we want it to be true, otherwise we want it to be false. Now, actually, I want less than 20, so now it's not going to be visible. So another thing to look at with your formulas is if you find yourself typing true or false in an if statement and what it's wanting is true or false, as in visible is gonna just at the end value what you type in your formula. Visible just wants true or false. So if you find yourself typing true, false in your if statement, you can kind of simplify it, because this equation, data card value 8.value less than 20, is going to return true or false. So just a little reminder there. Make things a little more simpler. I usually forget that lots of times, but you guys should not forget that. Let's see. So now I can go in here, can edit this. It's below 20. It's going to show a little check mark. Yay, cheap dates. Let's see, another thing, the last thing that I think I wanted to show you guys is showing the visibility of your forms. So one thing I can do is I can just click on attachments. Maybe I don't want attachments at all. So I can just click on attachments, hit delete. It'll just delete the whole card. I can always go back, go to fields, add field, and choose all these different fields to add on there. But I don't really want attachments, so you can just delete it. What I do want to do is, let's say I don't want to see the price for whatever reason when if I'm viewing the form or let's say if I'm editing the form, I don't want to be able to edit the price. Let's say that's set in stone. It's something you don't want your users to be able to edit. So to do that, all you got to do is go to the visible property of the whole data card. Make sure that you're selecting the whole data card. So if you go to price, you can make sure you select it right there. And change the visible property to if SharePoint form 1 dot mode equals form mode dot edit. Going to be false, otherwise it's going to be true. And I'll just leave that how that is there. So right now, when I'm creating the form, it's just in edit mode, so it's gone away. But let's try going back and saving it and seeing what our little form here looks like. Another little advice that I've heard before is you have this button to go back to SharePoint, so that's going to go back to your list. And if you want to make it a little easier, you can right click, open it in a new tab, so then you can just edit your form, go back to your list how you want. It's kind of a nice thing. So let's go File, Save, and Publish SharePoint. Publishing, that's pretty quick. So now let's go here. Sometimes it doesn't really work when I get that. There we go. Now I got that list showing. So now we should be able to see our new little list here going, new little form. There we go. So as you can see, it's our little form. It shows the price right now. Doesn't look very good. You can make that look a little bit better. But if I want to edit it, click edit, price goes away. So I can edit everything else. I can do these little stars. And that is pretty cool. I can change this, I can change everything else, but I can't edit the price. Pretty cool. So the last thing I want to show you guys is with your forms, you can either have them skinny like they are now, or if you want, you can go to File, App Settings, then under Screen Size and Orientation, you can actually choose Landscape. So it kind of gives you a little preview. It's either skinny like how it is right now, or you can do Landscape. So it's probably going to kind of mess my form up a little bit. Usually it's best to do this at the beginning. So we'll see what happens. But let's save it. Publish to SharePoint. Back. And yeah, I kind of messed it up a little bit. So let's just stretch things out a little bit. Sometimes it messes that up too. Just fix that. And the last thing that I'll show you guys, I guess I already said the last thing. This is really the last thing. Is if you click on the form, you can either kind of click in an empty space, which is what I usually do, or you can just go over here, click SharePoint, and you can have this thing called Snap to Columns. So Snap to Columns basically means these columns are kind of be set in stone. So let me kind of show you. So columns right now is set to 1, so that means there's one column going across for every row, I guess is how you'd say that. But I can choose 3. All of a sudden, there's 3 different fields showing for each row. I can change that to 12. I can do whatever I want. I'll change mine back to 1. Then with the layout, you can either choose vertical, which is how it is set right now, so the title is above the text box, or you can use horizontal, just kind of horizontally sets that there for you. Also, just real quick, you can advance. This is rich text, and I forgot to change it to plain text. You can enter a control and do rich text. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. You can do a HTML or a rich text editor if you chose rich text, or if you made a mistake I made, you can go here. Now, parent default, usually you want to keep that the same. Maybe if you're doing a new form, you can switch that to something else and say if it's a new form, it's this value. Otherwise, it's going to be the parent.default. And I usually don't mess with that because the parent default is going to be what SharePoint is, like what the item is. So if you mess that up, if you change it to, if you don't have parent.default in there, it's not going to show the value that you click on when you're clicking on an item. So that's kind of a tricky thing to be aware of. So we'll just do a nice little function called plain text, parentheses and parentheses, and there you go. So I think that was everything I wanted to show you. I'll just show you a little preview lastly of what this looks like. Let's save, publish SharePoint, and let's check it out. Oh, let me just refresh that. And now we'll try it. So click rollerblading. Whoa. So obviously it's going to mess with your form a lot more. This is kind of really stretched out. And I think you can customize it to, you know, make it a little more in or wherever you want. And you're obviously going to have to change these guys around a little bit more, but you can still kind of edit them and change things around. But that's it. So if you guys want, you can subscribe to see maybe a few more videos, learn some things you haven't learned before. My goal is to cover just everything that I know, all the basics from the really simple to the most advanced that I can get. If you guys have any questions, just comment, or if you maybe want me to do a little video on something that you have been struggling with, or if you have a question, just let me know, and I'd love to answer your questions or make a video about it. So thanks, guys.